honestly. You know,
I
and
think people have always been a little bit drawn to the macabre and like bloodletting and things like that for like centuries. There's always been a sexy element to it. Anything that's dark and has that threat of imminent death and stuff. There's always there's a thin line, pleasure, pain, death, like the
Keep
sexy
talking,
kind of
Jane.
elements.
Keep talking.
Ready to watch stuff!
Children of the night, what music they make.
Yeah, Monica Bellucci, I would actually have as number one.
Yeah, I would let her drain me.
You get a little bit of side boob.
I would let her drain me.
Yeah, and I'm sure she would be fucking thrilled to hear that. That.
Yeah.
I would deign to let her kill me.
Keanu Reeves is not exactly fighting very hard to get out of there.
Would you?
No, of course not.
I appreciate your commitment, man. That's a good calling. That's very good.
I've even got my flaps. Nice flaps.
Nice flaps. Where the fuck is Ed?
Oh no, I don't want that. Oh, your virtual background.
Hello.
Hello. I can't laugh too much. I don't think they'll last. The prosthetics department let me down terribly.
The which?
The prosthetic. You're gonna fall out.
Oh no!
But that'll make it even better.
What? That they just keep popping out?
That you're a shit vampire. That's a good look.
Yeah. If it would stay in.
Better looking at you than. No offense. Jane looks better.
You guys
Chris, just slightly.
So are you guys watching all these movies just in the last couple of weeks?
No, I've watched 2.
Okay.
Ed's watched about 50.
Yeah.
I forced my girlfriend to watch Bram Stoker's Dracula the other night.
Yeah, I watched it as well.
How did that go?
Not even for the podcast.
There was a lot of slowly turning towards me and making awful faces. But
had she not seen it before?
No.
You don't realize how shit it was until you watch it again. No,
it's fucking dreadful.
Except Gary Oldman. He's good.
Yes.
I still like Gary Oldman.
I don't know. I'd even say he's shit in it as well.
No, he's the only saving grace. Maybe it's just because he's less shit than everyone else.
He looks like the Cowardly Lion out of Wizard of Oz.
Girls.
He spends as much time chewing the scenery as he does his victims.
Yeah. Well, we'll save it for Ed's having some shit.
Yeah, pinch it off, man.
Do you know what vampire I am, Jane?
Which vampire you are?
Yeah.
It's really brilliant.
If you knew it.
It'd be brilliant if I knew it.
Yeah. You obviously haven't seen it.
I mean, I gotta say, Pete, when you go ahead and just give yourself over to the bit, you really do a good job of it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm very impressed. I really am.
There's have you not seen the TV show What We Do in the Shadows?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, Colin Robinson.
Oh no, I watched the movie. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Colin Robinson. He bores people to. He's an energy vampire.
Yes, an energy vampire.
So he bores people to death. Holy shit, Ed! Holy
He looks like L. Ron Hubbard as a vampire.
I never drink wine.
Okay, so this is Idiots Who Watch Stuff, episode 11, Fangs For the Memories.
We didn't agree on that, Ed.
Well, it's happened now. Don't look.
Fangs For the Memories.
That was pretty good.
We have with us Big Chris Mongo. Say hello.
Uh-oh. Hello, children.
Pete as Colin Robinson.
Yeah.
We have Colin Robinson.
I'm an energy vampire.
It's going to be a lot of that tonight, I think.
Yeah.
And we also have a very special guest for this episode. We met 20 years ago. It's been a good friend ever since. I'm pretty sure you introduced me to my beautiful wife, Debbie.
I did.
Yeah. Bit hazy, but I'm sure it was you. She's a jet setter. She's lived all over the world. She's worked in different places throughout her life, bars and PR. But now she's turned her hand to nutrition and runs her own company, Real Nutrition. Best to get her on Instagram at Jayne Real Nutrition. Where am we at? She does one-to-one online coaching, consultations, workshops, speaks at events. She's without doubt the strongest woman I know. I'd say she'd be able to bench press my fat ass even. That's how strong she is. She's the only person I know that's literally slipped on a banana skin.
Yeah.
What?
And also forgot to run on a moving treadmill.
Oh my God.
I'm funny seeing her face planted.
But she is available to train other people, is what you're saying, Ed.
Of course,
Hashtag fitness.
Fitness. She's the wonderful, beautiful, Real Nutrition. It's Jayne O'Toole. Welcome to the show, Jayne.
Thank you very much for having me.
Fangtastic, Jayne O'Toole.
We're
Nice
always
to be
doing.
here.
Thanks for coming on. Look at us, we're fucking idiots. Like,
It's why I feel so at home.
I'm going to go ahead and ask right away. As a nutritionist, do you recommend human blood?
Yes, I do. It's full of iron.
Nice.
Oh, child's blood.
Is this a new diet you're coming up with?
I think it's very important that you go for vegetarians because they're saying everyone should be eating plant-based. So just snack on a vegetarian.
Well, the Illuminati are big on child's blood, if you believe the rumors.
Well, I think if you bathe in it, I think it's really beneficial. If it worked for Lucretia Borgia, I don't see why it wouldn't work for me.
There you go.
I'm all in.
Tell us a bit more about Real Nutrition.
But Real Nutrition, gonna get my teeth stuck into it. You knew it was going to happen. There was no way I was going to come here and not be excessively enthusiastic and make bad jokes. I guarantee you, and use AF excessively as my units of measurement.
Brilliant. So if people want to get in touch with you, Instagram's the best, is it?
Instagram's probably the handiest. I'm pretty active on it. Slide into my DMs there. I usually get back to people.
No, you shouldn't. You should never say that on this podcast.
No.
No, not slide into your. To have it so that everyone can see the depravity.
Okay, so I can reshare it all in my story.
Of the fuckers that listen to this thing.
Well, me and Chris are all right. Pete's a bit.
Yeah.
But I kind of knew that.
I'll send you a message later.
And I'll be logging off.
Yeah, and that was this week's episode of On That Bombshell.
Oh, well,
when are we get started then? Because it's mainly we're going to be talking about vampires if we didn't get that.
Well, Ed, if we're going to be talking about sports, then you've come to the wrong person.
If everybody's
Oh, the Premier League last weekend.
Yeah, I may have gone overboard in the hair. Lesbian vampire novel or something like that. From back then, that's pretty fucking outrageous.
It's basically what a lot of B movies in the 80s were.
It's what a lot of B movies are now.
Yeah.
Has that changed?
Yeah.
When were you last on Pornhub?
Yeah. Tell me about your scripts. Well, it's got lesbians and vampires. We'll do it.
I'm in.
All in.
Yeah, so like that was kind of outrageous for them times.
Is it not? Are there not people that like get into like relationships comfortably where they get into a vampire relationship and do drink each other's blood, or one drinks the other one's blood, and they like kind of want it? Like it's an agreement, like
Yeah,
a kind of agreement.
I actually knew people back in the early '90s who had this whole, coven of vampires, and they go out in the woods and drink each other's blood and everything.
Yeah.
But that's all based on something. What I'm on about is like way back when.
Yeah, there was a French countess called Lady Battery.
Battery.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was fabled as for drinking people's blood. Well, I think she would
She bathed in her blood and drank them like with young maids and things like that. She would sacrifice them to stay eternally young.
Yeah. It was
That's
not
almost like
called Gilda Ray he was apparently, how can you prove it, like, you know what I mean? But apparently he used to drink people's blood as well.
Yeah.
And there is like the undead history from Romania and Transylvania and stuff like that, where they do very much believe in it in history and of there being undead.
And that's
so
totally
there is a proper link to Transylvania then.
Yeah, there is. There's a lot of mythology and stuff from the region around there, and of course Vlad the Impaler. Like that's the origination of it. Like he was seen as like when he would go around and the wars were going on there, and he'd go like putting people on sticks and stuff. Like he was classed as the first Count Dracula. Like they didn't believe he actually died. They believed he stayed on and continued to kill people. So Vlad the Impaler is like the original Count Dracula. That's the idea. And Castle Dracula was his.
Nice.
And the Carpathians.
Isn't there stories of him like eating dinner in that sort of forest of impaled people? Like,
Yeah. Like he would just kind of sit there and was just completely desensitized to it all. It was just nothing. That was just what he was known for, like spearing people.
That's fucked up, man.
And he was married to Winona Ryder.
Aren't they all?
which would make anyone want to murder people and drink their blood.
And a abomination of a film.
Oh,
how is that a couple of films? Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah, it makes sense.
What was the casting director?
Yeah, but that's what I said to you the other day, Ed. The casting director needed to be fucking shot and then impaled on a fucking stick.
Yeah. But I still stand by the fact that I think Gary Oldman is good in it. Like, comparatively or not. Like,
he's amazing.
He has moments where you're just kind of like, you do buy into him and you do kind of, I don't know, you buy into like his like lost romantic soul.
Yeah, but like you'd even go, who was the voice coach?
Yeah.
Reeves. Even like Anthony Hopkins, every time he walk into the ring would start walk into a room would start dancing with people. It's just like what he's there. Now we've got to go get that vampire. It's just like, what the fuck is this shit?
Leo Gill and the vampires.
He read the script, he saw the check and went, you know what? Yeah, let's do this.
Count Dracula.
I think like shit acting's contagious, kind of the way it happened in that movie where you had actual good people being horrific. Like it just
there's this weird thing when I was watching it. You almost feel sorry for Keanu Reeves because he was really. This is serious. This is it. Like I was in a fucking telephone box traveling around time last week. This is it.
I've made it.
I've got a posh English voice, and that girl over there says I'm good at it.
Yeah. I mean,
and then what they're going to do is they're going to put talcum powder on my hair. This is it. I'm going to win an Oscar. That girl said I would.
Who's Sadie?
Gary Oldman looks like Ed at the start, and then he looks like the Cowardly Lion out of fucking Wizard of Oz wandering through London.
I know, he does look pretty cool when he goes to London. Like.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Oh, is that when you said he looked like the Cowardly Lion?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's got the curls, the ringlets.
He's got ringlets.
Yeah.
And then you go, well, Russell Brand looked at that and went, that's my look.
I mean.
Well, let's be honest, they both got laid.
They did pretty well.
Secretly. Something about the ringlets works. Clearly.
And someone's got to explain this. He walked through the streets in the daytime. Why was that?
They did explain it.
Come on, Pete.
It didn't make any sense to me because at the
Most nocturnal creatures, the vampire can travel by day, although he doesn't have full power.
Yeah, bollocks. Well, I was going to say because
Gerard Butler is a fucking dragon.
as my sister put on the our Facebook page the other day, my parents went down to Cork or Kerry or somewhere. I was 10, and she showed us the version with, I think it's Frank. Is it Frank Mangella?
Frank Langella?
Is Dracula, and that put the fucking shits up me. Like they bit a baby's head and then sucked the blood out of a baby in that one.
I didn't think Frank Langella was exactly the scariest Dracula, but there is a fucking scene in that movie where Lucy, you know, he goes to England or wherever and bites Lucy, and she gets up out of the fucking grave.
Oh, yeah.
It's scary as fuck.
Yeah,
like,
I was 10 and it fucking put the shits up me.
My dad had recorded it off ITV, right?
Yeah.
My brother was terrified of horror movies. So, like, he used to sort of scare my brother with this fucking scene the whole time. I'll never forget one Saturday afternoon, my brother was, like, dressed up in his Cubs outfit, right? So that's how fucking young he was. It wasn't even the Scouts, it was the fucking Cubs.
You mean he was 21, Ed?
Yeah. He's not a Scout master. He wasn't going around, give him air.
That's how they got the child's blood in that family.
Yeah, in his fucking Cubs outfit, and my dad keeps rewinding the scene and playing it again. It's makeup. What are you scared of? My brother's like crying at this stage.
Yeah.
And I'm behind him, like on the chair, like trying not to be scared, but I'm terrified. Like, I'm really listening.
That version was gory as fuck.
It was horrible.
Because that's what I'm saying. Like the Gary Oldman, the Francis Ford Coppola, it's not scary in any way.
No.
Like that's my problem with the modern takes on it is the horror's gone.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna love this, right? I'll tell you where that came from. It came from an actual sort of tabletop game like D&D. It was called Vampire the Masquerade.
Masquerade.
Look at him sitting forward in his fucking seat. He played it, of course.
Yeah. See, when that was released, it became fucking huge. But it sort of transcended from tabletop to LARPing. Like, LARPing was around, obviously. Like, so there was kids in fields with fucking foam swords beating the shit out of each other. But when Masquerade went to LARPing, they started going to nightclubs. And it became very sexual and stuff like that. Like, and very sexually open.
Yeah, it was like LARPing Blade. Now, before anybody asks, no. And those kids were fucking weird. And I didn't want anything to do with them. This is me saying they're fucking weird.
Yeah, well, like kids would fucking show up in, like, because what the game was clans of vampires, different clans of vampires. So they would show up at nightclubs, and if you were with this clan, then you sort of danced over here and got off with these people. And all this, you know,
I think people have always been a little bit drawn to the macabre and like bloodletting and things like that for like centuries. There's always been a sexy element to it. Anything that's dark and, you know, has that threat of imminent death and stuff. There's always there's a thin line, you know, pleasure, pain, death, like, you know, the sexy kind of elements.
Keep talking.
But there is, I think it's always been there in it. Like, if you think even like movies, like even with Interview with a Vampire, things like that, they're quite modern. They're dark, but they're very sexy as well. Like, that's not all about romance.
Like, I saw that film somehow. I must have been going out with a girl at the time, but I went to see that in the cinema. And I remember even at the time thinking, yeah, you know, that's not bad, that Interview with the Vampire.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
I don't know whether it stands up today. Like.
I haven't seen it.
I still love it.
I thought when it came out. But I always thought, but even at the time, I thought Brad Pitt was much more convincing than Tom Cruise is.
See, I'm the opposite. I actually think that Brad Pitt was a bit wooden and Tom Cruise was excellent as a Lestat. And I did not believe that Tom Cruise could be Lestat because he's nothing like what I had the character built up in my head from reading the books when I was younger. I was like, why the fuck if they cast Tom Cruise? He's going to be bloody useless. And I thought he was great.
As the young girl was brilliant in it as well. What was
Kirsten Dunst.
She was great in that.
And again, I doubted it because like the character of Claudia is supposed to be only like 3 or 4, like she's like a little teeny tiny child, and they had to change the casting to like suit the movie, obviously, because they couldn't quite get the cast to be exactly like the book. Like there's so many discrepancies in that way, but I didn't care because it was a great movie. Normally you'd be really bothered when you know a book so well and they change it quite a bit, but I actually thought it was a really great adaptation of it. The youngest in the family, I wasn't supposed to read them.
Yeah.
Like I used to sneak and see them, my big brother and sister's books, and read them. And I think it was like the first time in my life I was kind of like, that's a bit sexy. What are these feelings? I don't really know what. This is a bit weird.
Every night leaving all your windows open.
Seriously. It sets the tone for many, many years of strangeness.
Keep talking, Jayne. The first 2 kills in Jaws are the 2 most goriest, horrible kills of the whole movie. Like it's there, and again, it's you don't see the fucking thing coming.
No,
like, it's all left up to your imagination.
Exactly.
Puts the shits up you. Whereas that's the problem with all these modern horrors is it's going, yeah, there he is over there. Look, that's him there. Like
that guy.
That guy. Oh, and it shows you in the first 10 minutes, who it's going to be. Whereas, like with all the best horrors, it's like, oh, what is going to kill you?
Yeah.
People are spoon-fed these days. God, I sound really old saying that. Kids these days are spoon-fed the horror. Kids these days, they don't know real horror.
Vampires aren't like what they were in my day.
No.
Like I would say, like my favorite, because I'm not a big sort of vampire real fan, but the best vampire film I think I've ever seen is that Swedish one, Let the Right One In.
Yes.
It's fucking
I've heard that. I haven't seen that.
It's unbelievably good because it's basically about a girl in like a small town in Sweden, and it's basically she comes to this school and it's a boy that's being bullied, and basically all she does is just one by one kills all the bullies. And like
I did see that. It was freaking brilliant.
And it's proper gory. It was remade. What was the one in? Was it called that in America?
Let Me In.
Let Me In with Chloe. What's her name?
Grace Moretz. Yeah.
Grace Moretz. Yeah. So
that's what I saw.
The Swedish version is fucking brilliant, and she has the familiar with her, like an older guy who she lives with, but she goes out every night and they show the kills. It's gory as fuck because she has to. So she does kill innocent people and all, but when she meets the boy who's been bullied, she kills all the fucking like spoiler, but it's well worth watching. It's fucking brilliant. Because it's a great story and it is a horror.
He's an interesting character, I think. Like,
then you found Twilight and there was no going back down the rise, was there, Ed?
Vampires.
Twilight book.
Explain this. Like, do you like Twilight?
Me?
Yeah, you see them all.
No.
Really? Okay, good.
Nobody believes look of disbelief on everybody's faces.
It's there. Do you like Twilight, Jayne? No, I don't. Yeah, I don't like them either.
I
don't like all of them.
Very strong dislike of Twilight for many, many reasons.
So I took one for the team yesterday and I watched the first movie.
Are you okay?
This is the worst thing you can ever say about a movie. It's not that it's shit or it's crap. It's boring. It's a fucking boring movie.
It's a boring vampire movie.
But it's more than that. Like the message is horrific.
Yeah.
It's not a vampire movie.
It's not a vampire movie.
Vampires are fucking pussies. Like at one stage they have a vampire
movie.
baseball. I want the most exciting thing in the whole thing is they have a vampire baseball game. They have a fucking vampire baseball game where they're all dressed in baseball gear. It's fucking shit.
There's layers to the shitness though. Like there's so many discrepancies, mistakes, like things that just don't align with it. But then the fact of the message of it that young girls are listening to, he's selfish, he's manipulative. He does the whole like, I can't help myself. And she's like, it's okay, do what you want. He's like, it's like fucking narcissistic abuse and gaslighting at its best. I've never seen
and he's
anything
180.
bad. Huh?
And he's 180 hanging out with a 16-year-old.
He breaks her car down. He fucking gets her kidnapped. Like he does all this shit, but then goes, but it's not my fault because your blood smells so good.
Yeah.
Like I can't help myself. And she's like, okay, he can help himself. Like, what kind of fucking message is that to young women? It's like, he can treat you like shit and like kidnap you and break your car down.
He's every 28-year-old guy hanging out at Coppers.
Yeah, but the thing that threw me was that he's there. He seemed like when you look at all his powers, he was basically a squirrel. He's there like, let me show you, and all they do is fucking climb trees.
Sparkle.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and don't get And then he goes, hold on a second, let's run up the top of the mountain so I can get him out. And then he's like a My Little Pony sparkling.
That's what I said.
He gets her pregnant as well, but apparently like all their bodily fluids are poisonous, but he can manage to get her pregnant.
When was that?
In one of them, not breaking down, like second or third one, I think.
So you've seen them all, Jayne?
I felt it was important if I was going to hate something, I had to hate it thoroughly.
Yeah. Another hate watcher.
And do you know what else? Another reason to hate it. What it inspired. 50 Shades of Grey is fan fiction for Twilight. And that's the biggest load of tripe on the planet. And like, so that's like 50 Shades of Grey is based on Twilight. Fan fiction. Stems from.
Yeah, she wrote 50 Shades of Grey with all the Twilight characters in it. And that whatever club she was part of went, that's terrible. We don't want it. So she changed all the names and is a fucking billionaire.
Yep. Because of people who are fucking clueless, like
soccer
moms want to pretend they know something about kink.
So in one of the later movies, do the werewolves and the vampires have a baseball game?
In Twilight or 50 Shades?
That would be good if it was in 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah.
The most interesting ball sports in 50 Shades, anyway.
Hey!
I did watch Dracula.
Scary movie.
Yeah, he likes that too.
Oh, come on.
301. He likes he likes them all.
I watched Dracula Dead and loving it as well for this.
Oh, that actually came into my head today. I was like, what was that? And I was like, oh yeah.
It was great. He has the Gary Oldman wig on.
That's what I thought when I saw you today. I was like,
no, but you can take my hat.
No one delivers a one-liner better than Leslie Nielsen.
Usually, like Airplane King.
Yeah. And the fact that even for the fact that never mind whether the movie was any good or not, every chat show he'd turn up to, he'd do Conan and all these chat show. He'd have the fart machine in his pocket, so he would let farts go and not say anything. Like that's how good he is.
Some wholemeal bagels.
Have the bagels.
As Britta would say.
That's what I was like. I was only watching that episode again the other day. Bagels.
I was actually watching that today. That episode is actually
really.
Yes, absolutely.
I think you got me into Community. I think after we played Trivia Pursuit that night, you mentioned Community, and I started watching it after that, and that was the first time I watched it, and I got really addicted to it then.
I'm starting to think that fucking Chris has shares in that fucking thing because he fucking never stops about it.
I understand why now.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
I've never watched it.
And it's got Donald Glover in it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Silent now. Donald Glover's gorgeous, man.
I said, yeah.
he's a gorgeous man.
Well, Ed will always say it should have whatever movie we're talking about, go, put Donald Glover in it.
Donald Glover in it.
He's
Save
a
it.
gorgeous man.
That's what they should have done with Blade Trinity. Because not even Jessica Biel saved that movie.
Yeah.
She is a fantastic artist.
It is a great artist.
Yeah.
She does CrossFit. Just throwing that out there.
Ed, didn't you come out and say that you don't actually like those movies?
Blade?
Yeah.
I didn't like that one. I like the first one's alright.
The first one's good and the second one's better.
The first one's the best. Just even for that scene with like public domain, Operation Blade, and the blood pouring out of the ceiling and everyone dancing.
Yeah, I thought that was the second one.
No, it's the first one.
All right, the first one's better.
Operation Blade is the first one when they're in the club and you've got the two lads confused.
That underground rave is brilliantly done.
Yeah, that's the best scene in it. Like my favorite scene in it anyway.
Yeah, because I always thought about that because you'd imagine like the club producers going, well, you know, okay, it's €50 in, but it's guaranteed. At some stage, blood's going to come from the fucking ceiling. The tunes are going to be good. Don't worry about it. It's going to be fucking great. Like it's a brilliant scene.
There's times in my life where if someone said that to me and I was in a certain mind frame, I would have been like, yes, I will pay for that. I would like to do that right now.
Keep talking, Jayne. Hold on a second. You were in the Savoy one and you started licking the screen and got kicked out.
Yeah, that's fair. Like, I drank a lot back then. Yeah. Listen, don't watch Dracula. I want you to be in my movie.
Oh my god! So she's done Some Way, and then she's done Lost in Translation as well.
And she's the movie's coming out next month with Bill Murray again. The greatest actor of all time. Don't you dare say anything.
Well, yeah, I don't have a problem with Bill Murray. It was more his character in Ghostbusters.
Well, we're not going back there.
I liked his character in Ghostbusters.
Say that again, sorry?
I liked him in Ghostbusters.
Keep talking, Jayne. Basically, we did a Bill Murray episode where these two fucks ripped on my favorite movie of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
The Reaganist Manifesto?
Yeah, whoa. I said we're not going there.
The fact that Peter Venkman was a sex pest was
Well, I said we're not going there.
brushed over the movie, yeah.
Jayne doesn't agree with you.
I really enjoyed that movie.
Jayne likes television screens. She doesn't really have a
Jayne, right? And tell me that Peter Venkman is not a sex pest.
That never crossed my mind.
Thank you.
He
Thank
gets
you.
hurt.
Thank you.
Well, granted, like with some of my previous history and choice of men, I'm probably not the best judge of character.
Keep talking, Jayne.
Oh my god, this turned into a fucking Carry On fucking episode.
Carry On Screaming. Actually, a good vampire movie.
Just Carry On Screaming.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Can I just see James?
Not with that outfit.
It's true.
What with the hair?
You look more Barbara Windsor, man.
Yeah, you've got tits and blonde hair.
I do have the titties, alright. Yeah, I do have.
So can we talk about probably the best vampire movies, which is the Hammer House of Horrors movies, where it was proper good actors.
Well, yeah,
Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing,
Christopher Lee.
Yeah, Bride of Dracula, all this sort of stuff.
Jesus.
Proper movies.
Do you know what? I've only seen Christopher Lee as Dracula in Dracula, and that's it.
Yeah, but it was
Same. I've only seen that one.
Yeah,
but it was probably the.
There was Bela Lugosi as well, wasn't there? He
that
was
was
the other one.
1931. That was where he'd have the.
But that was Bela Lugosi, yeah.
Wander into the room, and then the bat would be on the string. It was good. Yeah, Bela Lugosi was brilliant.
But then you had Bela Lugosi. We do have to address this. You have Bela Lugosi in Plan 9 from Outer Space, and then he died halfway through production. So Ed Wood hired somebody's dentist because he vaguely looked like Bela Lugosi and would cover up with the cape. As long as you only saw the top half of his head, he would still, yeah.
It's all down to Lugosi.
They are some of the worst, best movies of all time.
So that's like some of the best movies are like that. It's like The Lost Boys, like for vampire movies. That's one of my favorites.
Whoa.
For humor and being cheesy.
I thought Pete was gonna turn up like the saxophone player out of Lost Boys. He's gonna do it.
I said
the saxophone player had stopped doing steroids for about 8 years. Yeah.
You can buy there is an action figure of that guy out there with saxophone included that I'm looking for.
Is that one of the Seth MacFarlane ones?
Yeah. They're some of the worst music of all time.
That's a great soundtrack. The Echo and the Bunnyman doing people.
No,
it was so good.
The saxophone. No, Echo and the Bunnyman, amazing.
Really good, yeah.
Yeah, but it's the saxophone player.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Yeah.
But it was the 80s. That shit was like good then. Like that was the norm.
But the important part of that is that movie was great and it stuck to some of the proper rules of being a vampire.
Kiefer Sutherland was brilliant in that, like as Eric. He was so dark. He did the role so well. Like that movie, like the characters in general, it's like 80s gold. Like just for the Poe brothers to fucking the Coreys.
Yeah.
The Frog Brothers.
Frog Brothers.
Yeah.
Edgar and Allan. Yeah.
A lot of 80s vampire movies took a lot of stuff from Anne Rice as regards sleep all day, party all night, you know.
But that's a play on the actual Lost Boys, like so J.M. Barrie's Lost Boys. It's meant to be a play on youth. It's meant to be like the idea of like with Peter Pan and the Lost Boys. That's what they're from. So the Lost Boys movie was based around that. So it's like eternal youth isn't the folly that you see in J.M. Barrie. It's more dark and vampiristic, and it's a play on that. So it's actually.
So the Lost Boys is based on a book, is it?
It's the Lost Boys is based J.M. Barrie. In Peter Pan.
Yeah, you're going too
high. The Lost Boys are the characters that are young.
He's a bit too highbrow for J.M. Barrie's a little bit too highbrow for Pete.
Yeah.
Hook. Pete.
It's a book.
I mean, I'm back in the game.
Children of the night.
But it's a play on like people wanting to stay forever young. If you want like that, it's not as good as it's cracked up to be, that it would actually be quite dark and vampiristic and horrible. It wouldn't be fun and playful and wonderful. And that's the kind of play on it. And that's what the characters line up with.
That was a great movie. The granddad, is it the granddad has the final line in the movie?
Yeah.
The trouble with this town.
The goddamn vampires.
Fucking brilliant. Credit.
Like, when I was little, like that was one of the first vampire movies I ever saw. And I saw that movie was only about 45 minutes long to me. Yeah. Because I had to do, you know, you do earmuffs. I had to do eye covers. So I was allowed to watch it, but they told me every time like the scene in like the forest was coming along, be like, Jane, eyes, like cover. That's how I was allowed to watch American Werewolf as well. I'd have to cover up the sex scene and everything. So it was like, they let me watch because they knew I was into vampires and werewolves, but I'd have to cover. So like for the longest time, I thought that scene in The Lost Boys was so much worse than it actually was, because I just heard the noises of the savagery and I never actually saw it. And I would literally be like covering my eyes, kind of going like, is it over?
Tuck and roll.
Yeah.
Michael.
You're eating worms, Michael.
Oh yeah. How did you do?
You wait till mom hears about this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where the kids are fucking brilliant in it.
Yeah.
Oh, they're brilliant. Yeah.
And some amazing mullets.
Yeah, there is. And you've got like from Bill and Ted, isn't it? Ted? Is Ted the
You
blonde
got,
one?
yeah. Alex Winter.
Bill,
Alex
yeah,
That's the
Alex,
one.
there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
And Edward Herrmann,
Who?
beautiful, perfect as the actual head vampire.
Yes.
Oh yeah, wait. You see, that's the thing.
Video store manager.
They stuck to the rules, and you have to be invited into the house.
Yeah.
It's not one of the what a shit rule. Whoever invented that, that's a pretty important. That's a big stumbling block. Like you're standing there going, "Here, come on in, Bill. You have to invite me in." I did. Yeah, but you have to invite me in. Yeah, I know. Yeah. No. You have to say, "I invite you into." What a shit rule.
I know, I like that rule.
Yeah, but it's a big story. Like, the chances are you're going to be stood at the front door for 9 hours because you can't go in.
Go somewhere else.
If you're going to a front door in Dublin, you're not going in any door because no one's going to go, "I invite you in."
I might.
Oh yeah, well,
You say come in.
keep talking, Jane.
You're uninvited.
Oh bollocks! See what I mean? It's a shit rule.
I'm so sorry for inviting you on this one. He does it to everybody. He does it to fucking everybody.
Like where? Why? What? Like if you
never.
It's like Gremlins. These rules. So you go where? Like don't feed after midnight. Don't feed.
That's a great rule.
Like the vampire rules. They're shit. What are there rules for werewolves?
Yeah, like silver bullets and shit like that.
No, that's what'll kill them. But what's the rules for when they're alive?
Don't invite them into the house. They shed everywhere.
Full moon, turn into a werewolf.
Don't let them on your new sofa.
Yeah.
If they get violent, scratch them behind the ear real quick. You know?
Yeah. So it's a full moon. They can come out for a full moon. But so the vampire rules are what? Daylight,
garlic.
Holy water.
garlic. Again, what a shit rule. What restaurants can have?
Water is not used enough in movies.
So basically,
Vampires don't go to restaurants.
yeah, I was about to say a vampire basically can't go to any.
Gosh.
A vampire just can only go to chippers that don't know what garlic is. Oh no, actually no, garlic mayonnaise. They can't even go to a
Garlic
chipper.
fries, are you fucking kidding?
They need to eat people, not fucking food.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think of that. Yeah.
But that's where people hang out. Drunk people who are susceptible to being easily.
So when a
Pull them
vampire,
down a laneway.
do they drink alcohol?
It's my dating technique.
Keep talking, Jane.
Anyway, the best vampire movie, and I dare you to tell me it's not Shadow of a Vampire.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, it's not. It's Let the Right One In is the best vampire movie.
No.
But go
I
on.
did like that.
I haven't
I
seen
saw For Me interview.
Interview with a Vampire.
It's my favorite.
Have
And
you
I also love Underworld as well, though.
Oh, would you fuck off?
Oh.
I really enjoyed it. And I know it's like about cancer for a lot of people. Huh?
So
Hey,
much.
Daisies and stuff.
Yeah, I had a bit of a girl crush. And
Yeah.
I thought it, like, she's really badass as well in it. And I kind of
She's
like that firiness.
I will throw
I
this out
quite
there.
like the political, like, I know it's kind of an action movie, but there's a real political kind of side of it. And like the war with the like lichen
It
and the
does have a
vampires
very
and
good
stuff like that.
Instagram account, Kate Beckinsale.
I've
Yeah,
heard.
follow her on Instagram. She's fucking deadly.
Yeah.
It got
No, I
sued.
like it.
Underworld got sued by the makers of Vampire the Masquerade.
Really?
With publishing, yeah. Because it's basically the same thing. Like they basically took all the artwork. They took, I think, the names of the clans and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
In game, and put it into. I never gave them credit for it, so they got sued for it.
It does end up a bit like an Evanescence video that's on repeat for a really long time sometimes.
But it's Kate Beckinsale in leather, and yeah, who cares? It's like you're talking about the political stuff. Totally fucking forgot about that. Yeah.
I noted both, but yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie.
Go around and
Yeah, but
feed
hold
it.
on a second. Why? There was no sort of like teeth on that skeleton?
Yeah, there are.
Oh, show me again.
Well,
That's
they're not like
He's talking about fangs, like.
yeah, they're not.
Yeah, Pete. Vampires don't actually exist, dude.
Hey,
Yeah, but he's trying to tell me they do.
I had a whole circle of friends that used to go out in the woods and drink blood on each other that would tell you different.
Yeah.
Keep talking, Chris.
On that note, I actually have to go.
And on that one.
No. Stop talking.
Yeah. Well, it was an absolute pleasure having you, Jayne.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jayne.
Bye, guys.
Sorry your teeth didn't work out better.
And so am I.
Keep talking, Chris.
So we may as well.
I know, mate.
It's just done. You fucking you vampire nerd spits off.
I'm leaving. I'm glad. Thanks a lot, society, for railroading my ass.
I think we've got to a stage where we fucking hate each other and we can't even fucking talk with each other.
What?
Huh?
We hate each other.
No, Ed's hit the I hate everybody point in the drinking evening.
Keep recording. Hold on a second. Keep recording, Chris. Go on.
We've gone from the Ed falling down, Ed getting angry. Ed reveals he secretly hates both of us.
I was about to say.
Well, not both.
The next stage is Ed gets Deb to drive over here to punch me in the face for some reason.